What is up, gamers? Welcome back to another exciting episode of Psycho Gamer. I am always your host. I welcome you back. Today, we are going to go ahead and go over the release dates for the new fall lineup for Arcade1up's machines. So make sure you hit that like, make sure you hit that subscribe, turn on the post notifications, and stay tuned because you're going to want these release dates. Welcome back, guys. Like I said, today we're going to go ahead and go over some of the release dates that were just announced the past few days. I know I've had a couple of people in my forums tell me that, Marvel vs. Capcom did get pushed back until November 2nd. So that kind of sucks they got pushed that far back. But as I mentioned in those comments, maybe we'll get a little more of a polished product before they actually release it. So what we're going to do, we really are going to flip over to my computer screen here, and we're going to go over a little bit of the information that I found on the GameSpot website. So I used to really go to them for a lot of gaming news, but I really don't go there all that much these days. If I went anywhere, it's normally Kotaku. So just kind of bear in mind with me there. So we're going to switch over real quick. All right, here we go. Now, the games we're going to be looking at: Marvel vs. Capcom, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Miss Pac-Man Arcade, and we're also going to get the Miss Pac-Man head-to-head release dates here. So, on the 19th, just a few days ago, they ended up releasing, a press release, and found out the actual release dates for these particular games. So, first game we're going to look at, obviously I mentioned that a little while ago, got Marvel vs. Capcom, the Arcade1up cabinet. Going to be $500. It is going to release November 2nd. Now we're going to look at these first, and then I'm going to go ahead and go to the actual links and give you a little bit of extra information for what's on the actual sites themselves, even though one or two of them I already have kind of given you a little bit of information on. $500 releases November 2nd. It is going to have online multiplayer, except for War of the Gems, obviously. X-Men vs. Street Fighter is going to be October 14th. Which, that's a really good release date. It's only a few weeks around the corner. It is also going to have online multiplayer for Children of the Atom, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, and Marvel vs. Capcom in there as well. Only one that shouldn't would be the X-Men Mutant Apocalypse. Miss Pac-Man, the Arcade1up cabinet. That is one that is going to be near and dear to my heart. I won't have any funds to get it, but hey, if you guys want to gift me one, I'm not going to complain. I won't really kick and scream to find one show up at my doorstep. That one is also going to be released on October 14th to go hand in hand with X-Men vs. Street Fighter. So that's going to be definitely one to look out for. Now the next one is going to be Miss Pac-Man, the head-to-head Arcade1up cabinet, which is going to be $500. That is going to be releasing on October 15th, so just a day later from the other two cabinets that we're looking at. So November, October, they are going to be two amazing months for Arcade1up. So we really can't knock them for releasing everything here just before Christmas. So you're getting into the holiday crunch when it comes to these particular arcade cabinets. So there are going to be a lot of people that are going to want these under or behind or to the side of their Christmas trees. Remember, kids, make that list for Santa and just beg them to get it. You may not get it, but hey, it's worth a shot because Santa gets broke every year. So first one we're going to look at is going to be the link for the Miss Pac-Man head-to-head console for the arcade machine. So as I mentioned in my previous ones, it does have that true arcade look and arcade feel, tabletop game there, so you can actually set your drinks on it, or beers, or chips, or any little thing that you may want to eat while you're playing your game. It is going to have multiple games on there. You are going to have, obviously, Miss Pac-Man, Super Pac-Man, Pac-Mania, Pac-Land, Galaga, Galaxian, Dig Dug 1 and 2. So one table, two players, 8 arcade games. It's going to be 29 inches high. So you're either going to have to be really short to play it, or you're going to have to sit there on a stool. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like this particular one comes with any kind of stool. So make sure you hit up Amazon, you hit up Arcade1up, and maybe get yourself a couple of stools so that you can sit comfortably on those, or get yourself a beanbag chair because you're going to be pretty low to the ground. Next one we're going to look at is the actual Miss Pac-Man arcade machine with the riser. It is going to be $399.97. Now that one, you are looking at your standard Arcade1up size. It is going to have a 17-inch screen, if I'm not mistaken. It doesn't say, but if it's like all the other ones, it's going to have your typical 17-inch screen. Going to have your typical marquee at the top and all your art the way it's supposed to look. It's going to have Miss Pac-Man, Galaxian, Pac-Mania, and Pac-Man Plus. Some of these Pac games, I think a lot of people are starting to get sick of seeing because they are putting the exact same games on multiple arcade machines. So don't get tired of them. You know, some of these places I've noticed are getting different variations of the Arcade1up machines. Like Best Buy might get one with 4 particular games. You may get Costco or Walmart. They might actually have 1 or 2 games in these releases that are different. So just do maybe a little research and see if anybody else is going to be getting these exact same ones that might have games that you might prefer a little more. But I think this one, it wouldn't be a bad idea to get this particular one at Walmart or even Best Buy, if Best Buy had the correct link being placed on the Arcade1up website. X-Men vs. Street Fighter. This one is on par with all the other prices for $399.97. Not going to come with a stool. It's just going to be your typical sized machine. It is going to have your X-Men Children of the Atom, X-Men vs. Street Fighter. You are going to have Marvel vs. Capcom on here and X-Men Mutant Apocalypse, which all of these games, except for X-Men Mutant Apocalypse, are going to have Wi-Fi capabilities, so you can play online against your friends down the road or across the country. You know, you have some options there. People will be able to have little mini tournaments in their house. The question I have is, how are the buttons and how is the joystick? Are people going to need to replace these almost immediately if they want to get that true hard-hitting arcade feel, as opposed to these little clicky buttons that make it sound cool but might not have the response time some people are really wanting to get to competitively play against their friends. Next one is the big one, Marvel vs. Capcom, the arcade cabinet. Obviously, this is going to be $500. This one is going to come with a stool. So thank goodness, $500 they're doing a stool with her. It is going to have a 17-inch full LCD display. Going to be Wi-Fi enabled. It is going to have your light-up marquee, light-up deck protector also. So that's something I don't think a lot of people were kind of expecting with that. The first one that they actually did have the light-up deck protector on was NBA Jam. So if you haven't gotten that game yet, make sure you go get that one too. So it's a great 4-player fun. The games that you're looking at coming on this one, my brain just kind of shut down, is going to be Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter, X-Men versus Street Fighter, Marvel versus Capcom, and War of the Gems. War of the Gems will be the only one that will not have Wi-Fi play from what I've been able to find out. So hopefully you guys really liked this video and liked that the release dates are just around the corner. Make sure that you guys give me a like and give me a subscribe if you really like the content. I'll make some more videos coming up soon. News has been a little sparse when it comes to some of these, and I'm still kind of getting used to, coming up with content to make everybody happy. So I appreciate you guys coming out once again. Make sure you go pre-order these games, and as always, from the bottom of my heart, game on.